All right, hello, welcome back. So, for those who are new here, well, pretty much everybody should be. My name's Earl, and welcome to the I Live Truth channel. Website, ilivetruth.com. And today I want to talk about being on the defensive. So, it's pretty natural, I think, at least for most people at this point, that when something conflicts with your viewpoint or your stance on something, you immediately, well, at least me, I immediately feel the need to start defending whatever that position is. So, for instance, something happened today and there was something out of place, and I said something about it, and my girlfriend, she just explained that she hadn't gotten to it yet. She hadn't had a chance to do it, and I immediately felt the need to reinforce my stance on it, which was, oh, well, you could have just put it away. Obviously, she was busy. She was trying to let me sleep a little bit because I work late, so I get home late, and now especially we're uploading these videos at the end of, after I get home from work. I don't even get home till almost midnight, and generally I am up before 10 on the weekdays. So anyway, what she needed was understanding from me, not conflict, and it's really hard to understand and even harder to enact. So, had I just came to her and said, "Hey, is this paper valuable?" Yes. Okay, I'll put it up. That would have been a much healthier interaction versus, what actually happened. There wasn't like a huge conflict, but there was tension, and there was a conflict that could have been avoided had I understood what she needed at the time better. So basically, yeah, that's an issue for me. It's a little less of an issue now for me than it has been, over the last few years. But it's still, I'm still not able to see exactly what somebody needs if what they say offends me before responding. Now, that obviously that would be awesome. That's what I'm reaching for. That's what I'm growing towards. That's what I desire. That's what I want. So I'm going to work on that, and I just want to point that out, that most people are on the defensive in this world, and I don't know if that's automatic behavior or if it's something that we've been influenced to do or what, but that's not what we need to do in order to grow relationships. Now, I don't care if this is with a friend, I don't care if this is with significant other, husband, wife, child, whatever, but if you're in a position where you are trying to improve your life, or to especially parents, this is especially important for parents to be able to understand that, all right, this person, this being needs love right now. They don't need me to act, they obviously don't see something the way you do. So rather than escalate the situation by saying, oh, well, it should be done this way because blank, blank, that just creates more conflict. It does not resolve the situation. It does not build towards a better relationship with anybody. And like I was saying on yesterday's video, the only way to truly change somebody's behavior, somebody else's behavior other than yourself, is to control your own emotions and behavior. That's it. And it takes a lot of work, I'm telling you, it really does. But that's one of the hopes of this channel. That's the reason why I'm trying to be as honest with things as possible. So, one, maybe some of you people some of you can help hold me accountable to it. You know, it's always hard when you've been with somebody for a while, like my girlfriend, and she tries to bring up an issue with my behavior. You know, I just snap back into that automatic defensiveness and justification, and reality, it's just selfishness, all of it. And, you know, I'm working on that. I'm trying to get better about it. And I can see a future where I can be understanding and accept what she says and look at it objectively without being defensive. Now, I just wanted to, you know, explain that a little bit, because really, it's a very feminine behavior. You know, it's fine, it's expected of women, but if you're a man, you know, and you can't take information in without getting emotional about it, you are not being a man. And that's flat out, that's what it is, you know. And a lot of you probably don't want to hear this, you know. I mean, it was a step for me to admit, all right, well, maybe I need to learn how to act more like a man. And this is it. This is what I'm hoping to instill in whoever's listening or watching, that we need to search outside of ourselves, especially our emotions, to figure out how we're supposed to carry ourselves, how we're supposed to interact with society and people, especially people we care about, you know. Like, I know a lot of people, you know, like, especially nowadays, people don't want to do the work. They don't want to look at themselves. Like, I have talked to a lot of people, you know, and a lot of people that have had failed marriages and broken relationships, people that left the mothers of their children, and most of the time, I can say that it's because of a result of the man being a failure, you know, like with this whole thing with me and my girl. She was done. I kept trying to plead and, you know, convince that, oh, let's just try to work on it. And, like, she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't agree. And, you know, you can't really expect anybody to do that when you failed them so many times. So, and I was a failure as a partner in a relationship. It's fact, you know. And a lot of it was because I didn't really know how to succeed. Like, I didn't know that I didn't know. And so that's why I said in the other stream that I began to search the Bible and search for how to be a better man, you know. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube about biblical manhood and even biblical womanhood. So it's just the first step in growing in any aspect of life is admitting that what you're doing or what you know or how you're behaving is incorrect. You know, you can't just, why change what isn't broken? You know, like, that's a pretty good synopsis of it, you know. You can't fix something that you don't admit is broken. And that's a big part, you know, just replaying, you know, like, think about yourself, you know, how did I add to this, you know, how was my behavior, how did it influence what happened? And more often than not, I would bet money that if a relationship split up or a marriage failed, it was the result of a man failing as a man. And, you know, obviously there are some exceptions, but overall that seems to be what it is. Now, so the recap, the less dense listen, I guess, would be just think about your responses before you respond. If somebody triggers you with something that makes you want to react or raise your voice or, you know, lose your temper, then just try and not defend whatever it is. Obviously, it's different when you can have a cool, calm, collected discussion about differing stances or views on something. But more often than not, it's two children unable to control their emotions, just acting irrationally, trying to control the situation, and it never works. It never results in something productive. At the very least, it's a bunch of wasted energy and anger. So just try and see, try it in yourself first. If somebody says something that you don't like, for instance, you were late to this meeting, or you didn't give it your best effort at work last night, or you didn't do as good as you normally do, and rather than explain why, just try and hold that thought and just say, you know what, I'm sorry, I will try to do better in the future. Take ownership. Do not defend bad behavior. Do not defend poor effort. Try and do your best. Do your best in life, and that's something I'm working on. Just don't defend bad behavior. Don't defend things that are true. For instance, last night at work, I didn't do my best. I did good enough to basically not to fly under the radar, but had somebody pointed that out, the right thing for me to do would be to just say, yep, you're right, I'm sorry, I will do better tomorrow. Thank you for pointing it out. And trying to use it as motivation and ammo to do better. And this can be applied to anything. Just don't defend, whatever. Especially when it's somebody you care about, because, my girl and I, my girlfriend and I, I've done that a lot in the past, everybody does that. But I see, there is no progress being made. The only way that progress can be made is if you can come together in a way that nurtures a healthy relationship. So, I know that this might be a little all over the place. I've decided that I'm going to just do these videos in one go. I'm not going to edit anything. I'm not going to add clarifications unless I really mess something up, but that'll be noted. So I'm just going to record these in one go with a small topic on my mind and just go, because really I don't have the time for it. The only time I can even have to do this video is literally on my way to work. So yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna plant seeds and see how they go. Also, my daughter, right before I left for work, she mentioned something about being invisible, and she said, "Dad, do you want to be invisible?" And as a kid, even a few years ago, I had imagined what kind of things I could, get away with if I had the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter, or if I could turn myself invisible. And I told her, I said, sure. I was just kind of trying to engage with her and be playful. She said she was invisible, and then I asked, where are you? Just had a laugh. But I was thinking, imagine the kind of horrible person you could be if you were invisible. You could do anything you wanted, almost, and nobody would even notice you. Nobody would hold you accountable for anything. And a lot of these movies and comics, cartoons, things like that, superhero movies. I think they, in a way, train people to act immoral ways and do bad things when nobody's looking, or, even sometimes when people are looking, they just act like, oh, well, nobody can see me, So, even though I told my daughter that, yes, I would like to be invisible, in reality, no, I would not, because at this point in my life, I want as many people to hold me as accountable as possible. I want to be good. I want to be a good man. I want to be a good father. Everything. So it's just some interesting insight I caught, from just having a little girl, and it's pretty amazing. So with that, I'm gonna end this video. It's super hot in here. I don't have air conditioning, and I have the windows rolled up, and it's about 85 degrees outside. So, anyway, if you like this type of content, subscribe, share with anybody who you think would find this interesting. I'm going to try and keep the content mostly clean. I know I slipped up in the last video and said one swear word, but I'm trying to work on that, so it's going to be, mostly clean. I'm going to try and do often streams, as often as I have insights, I wanted to talk about the situation today. Actually, I got another thing to say. So, about trying to control other people's behavior. So, as I mentioned in the previous video, my daughter has these behavioral issues, like she does not want to listen. And we've tried a bunch of different things, a bunch of different tactics, and I still try, it's still very hard for me to give my daughter exactly what she needs, for instance, my girlfriend took our son into the bathroom today to sit on the potty. We're doing super early toilet training with him too. So 7 months, he's already pooping on the potty and stuff like that. Anyway, my girlfriend was in there, and then my daughter went in there, and I don't know what she was doing, but she was doing something my girlfriend told her not to do, and she started throwing a fit, and she told her to get out because she wasn't listening. So I was in the kitchen cleaning some dishes and making coffee or something, and I went in the bathroom and I grabbed my daughter and removed her, and just put her in the living room and closed the bathroom door. And I said, you need to listen to Mama, and then she just demands a hug. She screams and gets even more frustrated and loud, and completely blocks out everything we say or do, and she just screams and demands. And she was sitting on the floor, and she's like, hug, hug, hug. And I went back in the kitchen because I was making her breakfast, and I said, walk out here and I'll give you a hug, So she scoots her butt, scooches into the kitchen on her butt, and she's just still, flailing and being super loud. And I said, stand up and I'll give you a hug, and I was calm. I was kind of talking loudly, sternly, because I was trying to talk over her. But, it's like she can't hear what we're saying, her emotions or whatever, she's just unable to hear us. So later on, she was still kind of emotional and throwing a fit, essentially, a little bit later when we went outside, and she wanted to get a mango. She wanted me to cut up a mango. So we were still feeding our chickens and ducks and rabbits, and I was like, all right, we will in a few minutes, And she just kept throwing a fit, and I said, go sit on the picnic table for a timeout. and she wouldn't. And, like, I was starting to get frustrated. I was starting to get angry. And I just kept telling her, sit on the picnic table. And she was kind of calming down. I was telling her to take a time out. And she would not do what I was saying. She would not obey, And I think that's an issue for a lot of parents. It's definitely an issue for me that I believe she must obey. And, a lot of it's from this book. It's called Shepherding a Child's Heart. I can't remember the author, but it basically tells you how to use biblical principles to discipline your child using spanking. And I think that would work very well for some kids. We've definitely tried it with my daughter, and it doesn't seem to do anything. Like, she doesn't even care, it seems. So anyway, longer story shorter, I was starting to get frustrated because she would not obey, and there was a point where she was just laying over the picnic table. So she went to the picnic table and she laid over it, and she wasn't sitting on it. So I was still trying to get her to sit on it. I was like, sit on the picnic table. I started counting to 3, and my girlfriend was just like, just leave her. She's calming down. Just let her calm down. And I did, I took it that time. I did say, like, well, she's disobeying, I should have just dropped it right there. That would have been the appropriate response. But I did just leave her, and then I tried changing the subject. I said, what are the chickens doing? What are the ducks doing? So that was another, reflecting on that, that was another learning moment that about being defensive that I was talking about earlier, because it's the same principle, I believed she should do something a particular way, and I was willing to essentially probably draw out the freak out my daughter was having by trying to get her to obey rather than just giving her the love she needed in the moment. And that goes, it's a particular situation, but the principles apply to everything, just like the thing I was talking about with the valuable paper being out of place. Had I been able to identify what the other person needed before I responded, I would have been able to give them love, and not react and behave in a selfish way. Because ultimately, even if I'm trying to get my daughter to obey me, it's still a selfish behavior because it's not what she needs, and I've just got to face that. And it's been a learning process. And had my girlfriend not said that when she said it, like, just leave her, it's not working, I may have progressed it even further. So thank God for that I was able to actually, not get super defensive. I did react in a negative way because I did defend my behavior, but I'm putting it on the record. I'm accepting responsibility. I'm accepting ownership now. And maybe next time I'll be able to do that before reacting in a selfish way. So, all right, well, that is it. So yeah, like I said, if you like this content, if you're curious to see what happens, if you want to support me, just for now, all there is subscribing and bookmark ilivetruth.com. This is video number 2, why you shouldn't be defensive. Alright, so I hope everybody has a good day, and this video will be posted tomorrow. Goodbye.